Hi, social camp. Yes, it's been a while since I've said anything, and though I have nothing special today to say, I thought I'd come and bring greetings to you. Greetings because so much has happened since the last time that I spoke to you, and it's been overdue because I've allowed myself in a way to become overly and overduly busy involving other things upon Facebook and in other groups, and I've kind of neglect some of the things that I usually do. So really, I'm coming to say hello. I'm still here. I haven't forgotten you all, and yes, walking with the Lord is as sweet as it ever was. I am walking strongly with the Lord still. And, oh, you see, when all I have to do is think about the Lord, and then tears of joy begins to flow, because it is such a wonderful thing to walk with the Lord. It's such a joyous thing to walk with the Lord. And yes, as I say, I've been so busy involved in activities on the in groups and things, and trying to get a closer relationship with the Lord. You see, my life is not worth anything if I don't have a relationship with God. That's how strongly I feel about my God. He's my life. He's my everything. And it's hard to explain because some people say to me, God isn't everything. Whenever, because they think I'm spending too much time. They keep telling me there's life. God isn't everything. But they can't be more wrong. There's no life without God. I can truly say to you that my life is nothing if God isn't in it. My life is worth nothing if God isn't in it. If God isn't my whole life, then it's not life. I know what it was like outside of God. And I know what it's like inside of God. So I can say to you that life without God is nothing. It's only worth something if He's in it. And life isn't perfect. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it is perfect with Christ. But what I can tell you is that when you are with Christ and you're going through and you come across any difficulties, in Christ, you go through it. You're not stuck in it. That's one of the first things, is that I'm never stuck in the difficulties. I have difficulties, but I'm going through it. And the reason I'm going through it is because Christ is going through it with me. So therefore, I'm not stuck in it. So I'm going to be there, but I'm going to go through it in Christ. And that's why one of my reasons is that I know that in Christ I can do all things through Him. I can get through my problems in Christ. I can get over my problems in Christ. Yes. When Christ is in the vessel, I'm a winner. You see, it's just it's just amazing, because No matter what you thought, no matter what you thought of, Christ would have thought of it before. No matter what people throw at you, Christ would have thought of a way out. There's a way out. And you see in the background, I thought I'd just play the song. It is about the winner in me. And the winner in me is Christ. See, I've got Christ within me. Because I've got Christ within me, I am a winner. Some people will have you thinking that you're a loser, thinking terrible things of yourself. But when you have Christ, you're not just a winner, you're beautiful. Because when God made mankind, we were fearfully and wonderfully made. And when Christ comes within us, he places a beauty in us. And he places a boldness in us. So I am a winner because I have Christ within. And I pray that every single one of you who is watching this, that you know that you are a winner. And that you know that you're beautiful because you were fearfully and wonderfully made. Anyway, that's just a little bit about what I've been doing. Since I last spoke to you, I think I went to a retreat. It was a weekend retreat. It was for women. And it's my third time this year. This year was my third time. And each year it gets better and better. Each year I come back feeling uplifted and spiritual, even more than I went. And that was so wonderful because this year I was a bit, I'm not saying I was lost or anything, but I lost, and most of you know that I've said I lost my job in July last year. So I was, although I'm not lost, I just didn't know what to do. I knew in a way that I lost my job and there was a purpose for me losing my job, and that Christ had an end in it, and that's why I'm not upset or obsessed about the fact that I've lost my job, because I know there's a purpose for me losing my job. The thing is, I just haven't found what that purpose is yet, and that's probably purely down to me, nothing else. But in the meantime, I am still, Christ is keeping me covered, and I'm as happy today, even without a job, as I was with a job. But anyway, I've been racking my brains and thinking, what is the purpose? There is a purpose, because nothing happens unless there's a reason. Anyway, one of the things that was bothering me is the fact that I have this desire to know more about Christ. And I did my college, which finished 2 years ago, but since then I haven't done anything. And I know that I need to bring that level of education a bit further to know more about Christ, because there's still so much that I don't know about him. And in order to enhance my relationship with him, I want to know more about him. If he's going to be my life, and he is my life, then I want to know everything that I can about him. So much that I want to know about him. I want to know him the way in which David knows him, the way in which Christ knows him. My God, I want to be in contact. I'm brother with Christ, and I want to know more about him. I want to know about my brother. I want to know about my friend. And I want to attain up to where I can sit at the feet of the Master, like Mary did. When she sat at Jesus' feet and the fragrance was all around her. That's what I want to be. I want to be continually sitting at Christ's feet. I want to continually having that fragrance just going around me and basking in that fragrance. So I want to know about it. Anyway, I was talking about the retreat. I had such an experience at the retreat. But also, I met a young lady at the retreat who was telling me that she was going to a college, and it got me a little bit excited because these chance meetings sometimes. So anyway, she said if I gave her my contact number, she would send me the details, and so I did. And so she did send me the details, and I saw in the college, and they said, look, why don't you come down for a day and sit and see if you like it. If you like it, then you can make the decision whether you want to join us or not. Well, on the day I went down there, it was a Saturday, and when after the lesson, I got so excited. The lesson was so good that I thought this is what I need to be doing. I need to be studying. But at the end of the lesson, and I got talking to someone, and just by chance they mentioned that the college was going to Israel in 2 weeks. And right away the thought flashed in my head, can I dare? Would I dare? Do I darn think about even going? And then I start to remember that ever since I can remember, since I was about 3, I used, the Bible has been my company, be my best friend. No, I wasn't in Christ, but the Bible was my life because that's what I had, that's what I knew. So at times I used to go underneath the bed with my Bible and I used to read it. When I'm in distress, I used to read my Bible and I used to think. And after I used to read it, I used to close my eyes and I used to dream and I used to think God was my father, Christ was my brother, and I used to imagine myself at all those places, all the places in the Bible. I used to dream that I was in there. So can you imagine when I went to the college and they said they're going to be in Israel, the Holy Land. And the funny thing is, the last 2 years I've been asking a couple of my church brethren if they, if we could go, organize something to go to the Holy Land together. And excuses after excuses, they couldn't go because the money or they weren't well or thing. I mean, I'm not saying they were making excuses. I'm just saying that there's things that prevented it from happening because obviously they didn't have the money and yes, there was sickness. So, but the thing is, it was looking unlikely that I was going to get to go to Israel. And I thought, I went to the administrators and I said, look, I hear you're going to Israel in 2 weeks. And they said, yes. I said, I'm just thinking, they says, well, do you want to come? So I said, well, the thought is flashing through my mind because, well, there's a space, but if you want to come, you need to tell us now. And, or at least tomorrow. So I took the thing home and I thought, you know what, I'm going to pray on it. So I prayed on it, and the more the more I was thinking, the more the thought was, this is what I need. I needed to go. And I phoned the lady back and I said, look, I've seen the details, and the fact is that you're leaving from Luton, and the plane's coming back at 12 midnight. How am I going to get from Luton to home because I live in London and and they said, look, don't worry about getting home. If you want to come, bring your money. And I thought, anyway, I brought the money down and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be in Israel in 2 weeks. I'm going to be in the Holy Land. I'm going to walk where Jesus walked. I'm going to go where Jesus go. And then they said to me, people get baptized. And if I want you to baptize, I must think about it. If I want to get rededicated to Christ, then, let them know. And oh my God, it was like, oh wow, get rededicated where Christ got baptized and walked where Christ walked. it was like a dream come true. But at the same time, I was excited. I was nervous as well because I was going with a bunch of strangers I didn't know. And plus, I was going to share a room with someone I've never met before in my life. So there was a bit of a dread. And, you know, there's so much things that try to go wrong. Like on my way to the airport, I lost my glasses, my prescription glasses, because I have glaucoma, I suffer from glaucoma. So, and then on the plane, I got sick. And I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? You know, I've lost, you know, what am I going to do? I can't do anything because I've lost my glasses. I'm not going to be able to see. But you know, when I went to Israel, nobody knew that I needed glasses. No one knew until the last day when I asked people to pray for me. They were shocked. God had given me an eyesight while I was in Israel, and I was able to see every single thing. I was able, oh my God, I was able to go everywhere. Apart from Egypt, I went everywhere. And it was so emotional, it was so spiritual, I cannot explain to you. But one thing I can tell you, that everything was so spiritual even when we went in the middle of the Galilee Sea in the boat, when I got dedicated in the Jordan River, when I walked where the shepherds was first told, and I went to the Mount of Temptation, the Mount of the Beatitudes. But when I went and walked the Calvary walk. When I walk that Calvary walk, I cannot explain to you how emotional, how truly emotional and spiritual that was. You see, the thing is, I walked that walk and it was so long. It was so tiring. And as I walked and I got tired, I began to see Christ battered, beaten, scourged, and he had the cross that he was carrying. And every slip that he made, he was lashed and beaten. And he had to walk that long walk, and he had to carry the cross. The walk that I had no cross, but yet I was so tired when I was walking it, and the sun was beating down. And I thought, my God, I've got no cross, and I wanted to rest. I was so tired. But yet, not only did he have the cross and that walk to do, and he was being beaten, but he knew that at the end of that journey, that he was going to lay his life down, that he was going to die for you and for me. And you know, no matter what happens in my life, no matter how much people persecute me and things, that memory will live with me for the rest of my life, because I walked that walk, and I felt the presence of God. And in that moment, I truly understand what it's like to be loved. I truly understand what it's like to have Christ's love, to know that he loved me, because yes, he did love me, and he loved you. And that's why he laid down his life, so that you and I can have life. Anyway, like I said, it wasn't much that I had to say, but I'll talk to you next time.